Now, an important part of plant projects are usually the isometric drawings. So let's take a look at creating one. We'll start with how to make a quick ISO. Well, what's a quick ISO? It's a quick isometric drawing that you can do from a selection set or picking a single line number or a group of line numbers. If you use the selection set, the drawing name will be user-defined line. So remember that the quick ISO is basically going to be used to check your work, and it's not retained in your project drawings. So to start a quick ISO, let's go to the ISO tab, and then we're going to go ahead and select this tool that says Quick ISO. Quick ISO can be found in the ISO creation panel. And if you go into Quick ISO, you'll find that you can also use the command plant quick ISO if you prefer to type it into the command line. Well, let's go ahead and give it a go at doing a quick ISO. I'm going to switch over to the ISO tab, and then I'll go to the quick ISO. Immediately, I am prompted to select components that I want to bring into the isometric drawing. So if I want to, I can just go ahead and window select something. If I do that, then you'll see it selected to ISO, window selection set. If that's no good, I can reselect, a right click, choosing line number. I can go in here and pick the line numbers that I care to put in here. Now, if I also go ahead and I'll go for quick ISO again, and I'll say that I want to do it by line number. I also have several filters that I can use here. I can show the line numbers in the current drawing. I can show all line numbers in the project, or I can show only selected line numbers that have been selected for drawing the quick ISO. I'm going to go ahead and select my ISO to create by line number. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this line number to do the creation on. Remember, we can create what we want our ISO style to be. Are we doing a check ANSI B ISO style, or we're doing a final, or we're doing a spool ISO, or a stress? So those are the styles that you have to choose from there. If you need to save your ISO to a different location, you can go ahead and use this button here to specify a different location. If you wish to create a DWF from this, DWF, if you need to allow someone to use this file in design review, someone who does not have AutoCAD Plant 3D, then you can use the Create DWF choice. And of course, if you want to override if existing, let's say that you just created one and you want to recreate it, then you might want to use the Override if existing option here. If you need to add a revision number, then you can go ahead and put that in this blank right here. Now you also have some advanced options that you can employ when doing your ISO, and one of these is to export tables on ISO creation. And this is going to create data files from the tables that are created. Now these tables must exist in the title block to be exported. And you do have a export format here, so you can choose in what format you do want this to be exported. Let's take a look at the advanced settings and overrides, and you'll find those right here. You have ignore breakpoints from model, which is going to ignore any breakpoint markers that you have. Ignore ISO annotations from model. This will ignore ISO message and location markers. Reverse ISO start and end points. Assume the flow direction for the line to reverse sheet order. The flow direction is not a property in the model. An arbitrary but consistent flow direction is assumed that you can reverse. The override default north arrow direction, that's going to ignore the north arrow direction specified in the title block. So let's go ahead and look up here at the drawing congestion setting. And in the drawing congestion setting, you have this little slider that says the level of congestion to split the ISO at. So what this is going to do, it's going to specify a preference for the number of objects that it's going to be allowed in an ISO drawing sheet compared to the number of sheets generated. If you set a high congestion level, this is going to result in fewer sheets with more objects on each sheet. So the maximum setting will force the ISO onto one sheet if possible. And this is going to replace the force ISO onto one sheet option from if you are familiar with the earlier versions. Now you also have override ISO splitting here, and that choice, split ISO when property changes, that changes sheets when any of the specified model properties value changes. You also have an override location. down here, the offset location adds X and Y values to objects in the isometric drawing. You can enter negative values, for example, negative 10,000. Offset rotation, this rotates objects in the isometric drawing. You're able to enter negative values, for example, negative 90. Offset rotation is going to be calculated before offset location. So if we have chosen everything we need to do here and we go to OK, all we have to do is click Create. And once you click Create, the isometric is going to be created in the background and you're going to get a message whenever it's ready. The message is going to come up in the bottom right hand corner, and you'll see this one has come up here, isometric creation complete. It tells me that everything was completed successfully, and if I want to view the details, I can go ahead and click on here. So here's my isometric creation results. It tells where I got it from, what PCF file it came from, and I can go ahead and I can click on, and then I can view the isometric here. So it's as simple as that to create a quick ISO.